Welcome to the first episode of the Imagery Intelligence Lab from Sky Eye Imagery, where I, B.T. Williams, will teach you how to see what others miss. Whether you're a drone pilot, a surveyor, or just curious about how imagery analysts interpret images, this series will give you the core skills to break down any image that you see on screen or in print with confidence. After this, future episodes will delve even deeper into specific areas of interest. What is imagery analysis? Imagery analysis is the process of extracting meaningful information from images, whether they come from drones, satellites, CCTV, or even your phone. It's not about having specific software or even AI. It's about learning how to look properly at an image. Analysts use a structured method to interpret what they see, and today I'm going to show you the fundamentals of that method. First one is shape. The outline of an object tells you a lot. For example, look at the image and we see rooftops, a conical tower, windows, rectangular cars, and vegetation, such as trees and shrubbery. The rectangular shapes and symmetry immediately tell us there are man-made objects in this image. The next one is size. Size helps you identify what something could be. In this image, we have cranes, containers, vehicles, and workmen. A certain vehicle footprint gives you clues about its purpose. Looking at the footprint of the yellow crane, we can see that the stabilizers are extended from the vehicle. The crane arm is extended, and therefore from the image we can assess that it is either in the process of lifting an object or placing an object down. We cannot assess any more because we do not know what happened before or after this image was taken. Next one is shadows. Shadows reveal height, structure, and sometimes even activity. In this drone shot, we could be forgiven for not knowing at first glance what was going on. When an imagery analyst looks at this video, the first thing we notice are objects moving. Our eyes are immediately drawn to the dark shadows of people running. The shadows are much more pronounced and help to give you a better indication of activity than if there were no shadows. The light-coloured path also helps to highlight the activity of the people on the path. If it was a cloudy day, the shadows would be less pronounced. The long shadows give you a good indication that this is either taken early in the morning or late in the afternoon. The next element of imagery analysis is tone. Different materials and how they reflect light when an image is taken will help you in your imagery analysis. Tone is the shade or intensity of a feature in an image, ranging from light tones such as concrete or dry soil, medium tones, vegetation, asphalt, or dark tones such as dense forest and wet surfaces. Dark patches on a roof might indicate moisture. What do you see with regards to tone in this image of the flat roof? In this image, we can see that the flat roof covering is virtually all the same dark grey tone, apart from when we look at the left-hand side. The darker tone could indicate that there is something different about the underlying structure of that part of the flat roof. The dark tone is reflecting light differently. We do not know for certain what is causing it, but the presence of the standing water that has a shiny, slightly green tone, it could mean that there is a depression. This is where the imagery analysis has to stop. Only by actually sending someone up onto the roof will we be able to give a good reason for the depression. From imagery analysis alone, we can only give an assessment as we are not actually on or under the roof. The key here is not to overanalyze, but only state what you can see. Our fifth fundamental is texture. Texture helps distinguish surfaces, so smooth tarmac, rough gravel, dense vegetation. All of this can be observed in aerial imagery, and texture often helps to reveal land use. So in this image, you have different textures. You have grass, you have soil, you have metal from the vehicles, you've got tarmac, and you've got the coverings of buildings as well. Patterns are powerful, repeating shapes or organized layouts, and this usually indicates human activity, such as fencing, housing, and parking areas. In this video, we can clearly see the pattern of design of each house. Nature did not produce this, it is man-made. Our seventh fundamental is association. So objects rarely exist alone. A water tank next to a barn or scaffolding next to a building helps us understand what's going on in an image, or in this case, a video. In this video, we have a large building with an exposed roof and main body. If it was just that, we would not be able to tell if it was under construction, decaying, or being demolished. With the presence on site of scaffolding, other vehicles such as a digger and flatbed, there is a good possibility that this building is under construction. What really helps to determine this is the neat placement of materials. If the building was being demolished, you would expect to see large skips and mounds of demolished material. We can see vehicle tracks on the grass. Why? Because this is the easiest route to gain access to the building. This avoids driving over building materials. When we look at this video, we probably know all of this in under a second, but breaking it down helps us to give a reason for our assessment. And finally, we look at site. Location matters. A building next to a substation means something completely different from the same building in a field. In this image, we can clearly see two single-story buildings. Are they for housing people, equipment, or animals? We can assess that because it is in the middle of a field that has ploughed furrows and are surrounded by hay bales, they are farm-related buildings, most probably for storing a mix of animals and farming materials. These buildings are not in the right location to be a hotel for people. One of the first skills analysts learn is distinguishing natural features from man-made ones. Straight lines, right angles, and uniformity almost always indicate human construction. Nature rarely produces perfect geometry. In this drone footage of a town, notice how the structure of the natural trees contrasts with the sharp edges of the houses and the straight lines of the roads. Another key skill is spotting change over time. By comparing two or more images, even just days apart, we can identify new construction, damage, movement, or activity. This is one of the most powerful tools in intelligence work, and it's just as useful as surveying and inspections. In this example, we have the same recreation area in summer and in winter. We can clearly see how flooding has occurred over the path during this time. When you combine all of these elements together, shape, size, shadow, tone, texture, pattern, association, and sight, you start to see the world like an imagery analyst. You stop looking at an image and start reading it. If you enjoyed this and want to build your skills, subscribe and follow to the Imagery Intelligence Lab playlist here on Sky Eye Imagery. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper into how shadows reveal hidden information and how you can use them to estimate height and structure from a single image. Thanks for watching, and remember, always look twice.